Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? You may notice that the sun is coming up, and that is because it is 6:42 a.m. on Saturday, and this is my Friday vlog because I slept all through the night, which I needed because I felt like I was getting a little bit sick yesterday. So I feel a little bit better now, but I wasn't feeling great yesterday afternoon and evening. So I went to bed after Alex and I watched. We watched, well, I had watched last week's RuPaul's Drag Race and Untucked. So I watched part of it with him because he was like halfway through by the time that I went and got my dinner. So I watched the second half of that with him, and then we watched the new one. And then he was watching... My door just locked itself. And then he was watching like live footage of Coachella, and so I went and laid down at about, oh, I don't know, like 11 o'clock, something like that. And he said he was going to come up at about 12:30, and so I set my alarm for 12:30 so I could get up and vlog and then come back to bed. And I slept straight through the night. And so I obviously needed the sleep. I don't know. But even though I feel rested right now, I'm still super, super tired. And let me just tell you that so I left the house. This is just the story of my life. I left the house to go vlog, and I got like 5 minutes away, and I'm like over here, and I'm like feeling for my camera, and I can't feel my camera, and I'm like, so I pull over to the gas station, and I'm like looking, and I can't find my camera over there, and I'm like, damn it. So I turn around, and I come back home, and I'm like in the kitchen in the dark, and I can't see the camera. I can't find the camera anywhere, and I'm like, where is it at? Well, I did see that on the table because I have 3 memory cards that my camera didn't have a memory card in it. So I grabbed a memory card, I went back to my car, and it was like wedged into the corner of the seat, the camera was. So even if I had, even though I had my camera, I didn't have a memory card in it. So I would have had to have gone home anyway. And now I'm here. So how are you guys doing today? Like I always say, this is not going to be a super long vlog, but I really don't think that it will be today, because I want to go back home and go to sleep for a couple more hours before I get up and get some stuff done. Alex has, he has to work today, he has meetings that he has to do, and I have a bunch of things that I want to get done today, and I don't think he has any plans tonight. His friend Sarah is, I think she's going out of town, or she's got something that she's doing, and most of Alex's friends are doing stuff this weekend. His cousin Maya is at Coachella, and my brother-in-law Fufu is at Coachella this weekend with friends. So I know Alex is a little jealous of all of that, but they were meeting up yesterday. It's kind of a really cool story with Maya. So if you've watched my vlog for a while, you know that like Maya was she was working Las Vegas at the country music concert that was, that there was a shooting at. Maya was at that concert, and like really close to where the shooter was, and she really had some like aftermath of that, like really struggled. And then some other stuff has happened to Maya, and then Maya was in a really she was hit in a really horrible car accident. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about that. She would wear a neck brace for like 6 months, and they weren't sure that she would be able to, like, they said that she would be fine from the beginning. They thought that she was going to have surgery, and she didn't end up having to have surgery, but she didn't end up having to wear this neck brace forever. And, you know, they were worried that she might not be able to dance again. And Maya loves to dance. I mean, she and Alex are dancers, and she's really into the electronic dance music scene and all this kind of stuff. So I think it was like, because Alex's grandma went out there and stayed with her forever, trying to, you know, like help her get back up on her feet, and was that whole situation was really, really nice. And Arby's has King's Hawaiian sandwiches. Isn't King's Hawaiian like those buns that you can get at the grocery store? But anyway, it's been a long road for Maya, and she's really been struggling with all of this stuff. And then she finally got the neck brace off, and you know, she couldn't really work a lot through all of that, and it's just been tough for her. And she's got this, and so she lives in Las Vegas, and she's got this really, really close girlfriend of hers that, like, is just, we met her when we were out there. She's just really sweet girl and loves Maya. And so she, girlfriend as in like friend. And so there was this thing, some DJ they follow or something, I don't know, like, he did some post on Facebook saying that he had like 2 extra tickets, VIP tickets to Coachella, and he wanted to like really give somebody this like great experience to go to Coachella, but he wanted to do it to somebody that was really deserving and all this kind of stuff. And so Maya's friend, this girl, she wrote on this like Facebook page about Maya and was like, you know, she was in the Las Vegas shooting, and she was in this horrible car accident where they weren't sure she was ever going to be able to dance again. And she, you know, like, everything about her life is around music, and she loves to dance, which is true. And it was all this like really glowing thing that she said. Well, he awarded Maya this incredible VIP weekend for Coachella this weekend. And so she took her friend, the girl that wrote the thing about her, and like, out of all of these people, he picked her, which I thought was just really sweet. And she was so excited about it. And we were on vacation, and she called Alex, and she was just like, you know, just like crying, and she was just so excited about the whole thing. So she's at Coachella this weekend, and I'm just really happy for her about that. And then Fufu, I guess, went with some friends, like 2 friends of his up there for yesterday and today, and then he's not going tomorrow. I don't know, but it seems like the whole world's at Coachella, right? If you watch anything on social media. It's interesting because I would like to go, but out of all of like the music festivals, it's probably the one I want to go to the least. Like, I'm just like, it's not one that I'm, like, Alex really wants to go, but I think Alex wants to go for the fashion and the music. I mean, Alex always wants to go for the music to these things, right? But I think, like he really, really wants to go to it. I don't have that big of a desire to go to Coachella. It just, whereas Ultra is really about the music, Coachella seems more about the party to me. And just to kind of be seen and whatever. I think it would be a cool experience to go. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to go one time, but I don't know that it's something that I would want to go to every year. I don't know, maybe I would go and I would love it so much that I would want to go back every year. The thing that's really hard is that we love Ultra so much, and Ultra and Coachella are literally like 2 weeks apart. So it's really hard, and sometimes they're a week apart. So it's really hard to, I can't believe that people get up this early and go work. If you're one of those people that gets up this early and goes and works out, God bless you. Like, I don't know how you do it. But anyway, so it's really hard to do both. Like, I mean, it would be really, really expensive for us to do all that. But, I mean, this year we went to Mexico. We could have not gone to Mexico and gone to Coachella, I guess. So anyway, that's what we did last night, and so I went to bed early and just completely crashed out. I vaguely remember Alex, like I remember him coming to bed, but just like vaguely. So oh my God, I have to tell you guys the story. So when we got back from, so when you like come up to our door, we have like this carriage light, right? That's like underneath, there's like this, so there's like, you know, we have like our front porch that kind of like hangs over, so like you can sit underneath it. And we have like a carriage light right outside our front door, like this big like carriage light thing. And years past, what are all of these people standing outside here for? What is going on? All of these people are waiting outside. God, that reminded me of back in the day. All these people are waiting outside Indie CD and Vinyl, which is like this record store. I wonder what they're out there waiting for. That reminded me of back in the day when we would go to record shops to get concert tickets. Do you remember that? I almost kind of want to pull in here and see what's going on. Like if they have an events page that says something about it. Where can I pull in? I'm like looking for a place to pull in. Oh well, I'll look it up later. But, okay, so, like years before, we would notice that, like, birds would start putting, like, you know, grass and, like, you know, hay and stuff up there. Hay, I don't know where they would get hay, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, stuff up there to make nests. And we would always catch it really, really early. And so we would like right at the beginning, we would pull it down because we wouldn't want it to catch on fire, right? And even like with having a different light bulb in there, like it just, we were worried that like if there was a bird's nest on there, like it would hurt the bird or something like that, right? So we go on vacation this year and we come back and there's a full bird's nest on top of this carriage light, okay? I mean, it is like this big. And there's this bird sitting on top of it. And Alex is like, what are we gonna do? What, like, are we gonna, I go, oh, no, we can't move it. And he was like, well, I know we can't move it, but what are we gonna do? Because how are we gonna not turn on our carriage light? And, because it had been off while we were on vacation. We don't leave it on while we're on vacation. So I said, well, we'll just have to leave it off until she has her babies. And he goes, Peter, that could be like weeks. And I said, we're not turning that light on. And he goes, okay. And so, we've left the carriage light off since we've been home, and she just sits up there all day long. She's very sweet. And so I come in, like, from when I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, I call her Mrs. Birdie, and I say, which is probably I get from my dad, who called the duck Mrs. Ducky, and I say, hello, Mrs. Birdie, how are you doing today? How are your babies? She just sits there and she looks around, and she doesn't really say a whole lot, and obviously, sometimes she flies away when I walk up. I don't think she really knows what to make of the dogs, but like when we come out, I'm very slow as I open the door because it's like kind of close to the door, so I don't want to scare her. And she usually just stays right there in her nest and just kind of looks around a little bit. So we were sitting there last night, and Alex, like, so I go up to like, so we have these like windows at the top of the door, and I like, I go up to the door like several times a day, and I just look through it to see if Mrs. Birdie is sitting up there and what she's doing. Make sure she's okay. And Alex said to me yesterday, he goes, listen, okay, because we had this thing several years ago where we had, I had all these bird feeders and trees, and Alex got really pissed because he was like, our entire yard was covered in bird shit. And he was like, I know you love the bird feeders, and I know, you know, all that kind of stuff, but he was like, can we like minimize it to maybe like 1 instead of like 5? He was like, because we literally, our entire yard is covered in bird shit. And so Alex was like, I don't want you getting really, really attached to this bird. And he was like, because, you know, he's like, you know, she's going to have her babies and then they're going to go away and she's not going to be around anymore. I don't want you, like, getting upset about that. I go, Alex, I'm 46 years old. I think I can handle it, right? And he goes, I just know how you are. He goes, you know, you get real attached to stuff. And he's like, and then I'm worried that, like, you know, one day you're going to wake up and Mrs. Birdie and her babies aren't there anymore. You're going to wonder where they went. You're going to want to know their life stories and all this kind of stuff, which is kind of true, you know, like, I am very much like that. So I have to show you something so funny. So Alex was in bed yesterday, and, like, he was going upstairs to lay. This was when he first came home from work last night. He was going upstairs, and this is when we were having the conversation, because I was sitting at the desk doing some work on the computer, and he like went and looked through the window to see if she was still there, and he goes, I just am saying, like, I want you to be careful, like, I don't want you to get like super attached to, you know, to her. And I go, to who? And he goes, I'm not gonna say it. And I go, Mrs. Birdie, you don't want me to get real attached to Mrs. Birdie. So anyway, so I go to the window last night, and I took this picture. Here, you can see it. This is, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it that well, but this is Mrs. Birdie here. Do you see her? She's sitting in her nest. She's so sweet. I took that through the window, and then so I texted him, and I attached the picture, and I said, I think I'm attached. And he said, LOL, oh God. She's so sweet, though. I love her. But I do think that, like, next year, like, because I Googled some articles on what to do if a bird is, like, on a, because I didn't, like, know, like, if we turned on the I don't want to get anywhere near, you know, like, if you touch a bird's nest, or if you do any of that. Oh, the camera fell over. So anyway, you know, like, if I was saying that if you, like, touch a bird's nest, you know, whatever, they won't come back and whatever. Like, that's true. Like, that's not like an old wives' tale. Like, that's true. And so I didn't want to risk that, you know? And so, like, I was Googling stuff, even, like, looking up, like, what to do in that situation. And they were like, you know, don't touch it, blah, 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 whatever. Don't turn on the coach light. Don't turn on this. And they're like, but in future years, because it's not really a safe place, because, like, we can't have the light on, you know? And even if, like, there are certain light bulbs that you have, it's still not, like, safe for them, I guess, or something. And so it was saying that there's certain things that you can do to keep birds off of coach lights. But then I was, like, thinking about it, and it's like, why she picked that spot. And it's like, okay, the nest is, like, it's, like, at the top, like, so I don't know if you can see that this is, like, the roof of my car, but it's, like, literally, like, here to the top. So she's, like, real protected. It's like no hawks or anything could come in there and get her nest. She's completely covered from rain or wind because she's underneath this thing. And, I mean, it's literally the perfect spot for her nest. See how attached I am? I am so attached to her. I think she's so sweet. I want her to come back year after year and have her babies there, but Alex is not so excited about that story. He doesn't really care for her to come back year after year after year, so. We will leave an open invitation for her, but I think that we're going to probably do whatever it is. Like, I looked online, there's a couple things you can do to make sure that birds don't, like, nest on your stuff. So anyway, but, like, humane things that you can do. But until then, we're not turning on our coach light, and we're just waiting for Mrs. Birdie to have her wonderful babies. And yes, I'm attached. I get very attached to all kinds of stuff like that. Isn't that funny? Oh, man. So, what did I do today? I feel like I did a lot. Well, I got up. Oh, I had to go meet with a friend of mine. And so I went and met up with my friend, and then after that, I'm, like, thinking about what I did. Oh, I was so hungry that it was like 2:30, and I went to Ruth's Cafe, and I had a grilled cheese sandwich, and a cup of tomato soup, and a cup of coffee. I had this big bottle of water in here, you guys, earlier, and I took it inside because it's my workout bottle, and now I'm dying wishing that that bottle was in here because I'm so thirsty. So then I ate there, and then I went and I ran a couple other errands, and then I came home and I filmed videos for all my channels except for my BookTube channel, because I'm trying to finish this stupid Andromeda Strain, but like the last 2 days I really haven't found a whole lot of time to listen to it, except for really late at night, and then I start listening to it, and then I get sidetracked listening to something else. So I just downloaded. I have to listen to the Columbine book because that's our book for our book club this month. That's gonna be the next book that I start listening to. I literally have like 10 minutes left of the Andromeda Strain. I just need to finish it, and then I'm gonna listen to Columbine, which I'm actually kind of excited about listening to. I mean, back in the day, like, I read all the stories about it and saw all the footage, but like I don't know a whole lot about the details of it. And this is the 20th anniversary of Columbine. So sad, isn't it? You know, so sad. It's kind of weird to think, like, when you think about it being the 20th anniversary, that means like everybody that was involved with that would be like in their late 30s now. It doesn't really seem like it was that long ago, you know? It just really doesn't. In a new effort to try to keep my car clean, I don't keep change in here, because Tanya would always just open this and throw change in there. But I kind of wish I had change in there right now, because I would love to go through somewhere and get something to drink, and I don't really want to use a credit card. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. So yeah, I would listen to that, and then I also downloaded The Devouring Gray. I have no idea who it's by, but it's supposed to be fantastic. Like, so many people are talking about it. It's like this new young adult fantasy book. I think it's about a girl that's... Well, I read it on here, didn't I? So, anyway. But I haven't made a BookTube video because I've been wanting to post a video review of the Andromeda Strain, but I have to finish the Andromeda Strain to do that video review. I mean, I guess I could do another video over there. I just have to figure out what I want to do. So, yeah, there's that. And then I posted videos on all my other channels. I did this Twix thing. Oh my god. I'm like, can I tell you or not? I'm so excited, you guys, for what I found at Meijer tonight when I was there getting food for my dinner. Excuse me. I found Peeps cereal. Can you even believe it? Everybody had been like talking about it. Like, I had gotten several comments on my videos like, please review. Not everybody was talking about it, but I get several comments where people were like, please review the Peeps cereal. And I was like, what is the Peeps cereal? Like, I'm not seeing this anywhere. And then last night, like, I walked into Meijer and it was like right there, like front and center. And I was like, oh, I have to get this. Like, I have to. And it looks so basic. And I don't love Peeps. Like, that's the other thing. So, but I think it might be kind of fun in a cereal. So I'm excited about trying that. I'm gonna do that review tomorrow, I think. I have so much fun with that review channel. Just trying whatever, you know, I want to. And then I know what I'm gonna do on Sunday too, because I saw it on Instagram, and it's a, you know, it's a drink that you go, like a coffee drink. So I'm excited about that. I just have such a blast on that channel. It's just such a fun channel, you know? And I don't have to be real deep and serious on it or anything. Not that I have to be real deep and serious on any of my channels. Like, that's not the case, but like on that channel, I get to just be goofy and fun and just have total fun with it. I love doing those reviews. So yeah, I did that, and then I did a Peterisms video about grief, kind of based on a conversation that I had with a friend of mine yesterday about some stuff that she's going through. Hardy's breakfast. Oh my God, I love Hardy's so much. And then my Peter Monn video, I talked about this Manny and Jeffrey reveal stuff, and I had so many problems uploading that video last night. Like, I got it all uploaded, and then I had to like re-upload it, and that was that, like, so I got the video up late, which is like always crazy to me because I start like filming these videos. Like, if I got up earlier, like I would get the videos filmed earlier. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't, because I get a coffee and then I drive around and I talk on the phone and I go run my errands, and then I come home and film the videos. So maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. And I don't know that it really matters, to be honest with you. Like, even when I post videos earlier, they still get about the same amount of views. So I don't think that when I post my videos, it has really anything to do. And in fact, one of the things that's interesting on my vlog, if I like post my vlog later, it's sometimes like more people watch it right away. Like, I think it catches people like right before they're going to bed, which is like, I think a lot of times when people like to watch a vlog, I don't know, you guys tell me. And so then a lot of people watch it, like, I think like right, you know, like they see it come up then, maybe, I don't know. I've gotten so many messages lately from people saying that they don't get notifications about my videos on any of my channels. But before, when that's happened, I've like contacted YouTube and I've said stuff about it, and YouTube, like, you know, has said that they don't really know what to do about it. So like this time I'm just kind of like, it is what it is, you know? I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. Alex has a bunch of stuff for the family, but Carlos and Liliana, I think, are out of town this weekend, and so we'll probably do that when they get back. I don't know when they get back, maybe tomorrow. And then next weekend's Easter, and we're going over to Caroline's for Easter Sunday, and then I don't know what we're doing after that. We'll probably do something with his family. It's funny that Caroline does Easter so late, because I feel like when I was growing up, we did Easter like somewhat early. Like, not super early, but like earlier, like 1 in the afternoon, maybe, like was dinner. I mean, we always went to church. My mom and I always went to church, so, and my church had, I think like 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. services. I can't remember how we did that, but my mom would teach, because we always went to the late sermon, because my mom would teach Sunday school, and so I would go to Sunday school when my mom was teaching it. We had like a pretty big Sunday school program, and so, like, I was never in my mom's classes, but I remember I would like go to Sunday school, and then my mom would teach Sunday school. Maybe it wasn't. And then I can remember, like, right after Sunday school, we would go to listen to the sermon, and then she would come down and close up her classroom, and then we would leave. Because I can remember a lot of times we were always the last ones leaving the church. And, I don't know why, but it's so weird. I can remember the smell of the church. And, I mean, it wasn't a bad smell. I just remember it, you know? And I can remember... Was I on here one night reading about my church and I realized that it had closed down? Like, it was so surreal to me when I was reading that. Like, it would have made my mom so sad that the church closed down. I meant to tell my dad that, because he used to go to that church too. And, it's weird, isn't it? I don't even know if if that building exists anymore. It was a beautiful church. Stained glass windows, beautiful. It's where my mom's funeral was. And anyway, I can remember being in there, like, you know, we would be the last ones, and we would, like, lock up the church. And my mom also did this thing there for years called Kids Cafe. And it was for kids in the neighborhood. Oh, wait. Something just happened to my camera. Something, like, just seriously fell off of my camera. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. I think something broke off my camera. Oh my gosh, please don't be the case. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. You guys will laugh when I tell you this. So this camera is actually pretty durable. And I know people are always like, you're gonna break internally, all this stuff to do with the camera. I mean, it's fallen several times and nothing's happened. So when I reached over to grab the camera, I saw something fly across, and I thought it was like something from like the camera itself. It was my Febreze thing, of which I think is dead. Is there any juice in it left? But I thought I do have another one in here. So I am using currently the Febreze Midnight Storm. Of which you take it like this. And then you, why is it not working? There, like that. See? And then you put it over here. Tanya loves the smell of it. And it's so weird because this is not one that I would like normally use, the smell. It's kind of weirdly like perfumey. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's not one that I would normally use. And Tanya came in here and she was like, I really, really love the smell of that. And I was like, well, I just bought it because I couldn't. I went to Meijer one night, I think, and they didn't have, it's kind of hot in here. They didn't have the ones that I wanted. I used to always buy kitchen scents, like apple, pumpkin. What is this? It's Qdoba, is it? Why is it so busy? Does Qdoba have breakfast? My lord. Oh, I guess they do. Original breakfast burritos. Who knew? It's busy in there. So anyway, there, that's better. I ended up buying, it is such a beautiful morning. So pretty. So I ended up buying this one because it was just kind of there, and I was kind of like going through all the ones, and I wasn't, like, I couldn't find one that I really liked or whatever. Well, that was like the last ones I bought. And then this time, I feel like I may have filmed this or something when I was in Meijer with Tanya, and I was trying to figure out which one it was that I had bought the time before. And I wasn't sure of what it was. And then I found these and I was like, oh, this is what it was. And so I got these and they smell fantastic. So Midnight Storm by Febreze, if you guys want a really good smell for your car. And if you go buy it, email Febreze and tell them I'm an influencer. Look at that, Fazoli's Alfredo Bake. Oh my God, that looks so good. Why am I so hungry right now? I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. Oh, I can smell it already. It smells so good. But I don't usually love like that kind of like cologne-ish, perfumey smell for a car. I trimmed my nails last night. But I do like this one. So yeah, my mom and I would we would do Sunday school and then the sermon. There must have been some times that we wouldn't have gone to the sermon, I think, because although that can't be true because I can remember, like, typically being, like, the last ones out of the church. Which I don't know why that would have been, except for maybe she was responsible for closing down, like, I remember walking through the classrooms where, like, Sunday school was, and then I can remember going out to the parking lot, like, locking the door and going out to the parking lot and being, like, the last car out there. And so anyway, my mom also did Kids Cafe, which was, so the church that I grew up in and I went to was an inner city church, and it was in a neighborhood where a lot of kids, like, when they came home from school, like, their parents were working, like, second and third shifts, or, you know, they just didn't have great homes to come to. So the church had this Kids Cafe, and it was open till, like, it was late. It was, like, 9 o'clock or something like that. And it was basically, like, this, like, church, like, diner where they had, like, food and snacks and tutors and stuff, and that you could come in there and watch TV and whatever. And it was just kind of like a neighborhood hangout center that was, like, safe for kids. And my mom volunteered a bunch of time there. She, like, loved working for that program. And, that was something that she was really proud of. I think she was really involved in getting it started too. She did that, like, way, like, and, like, up till, like, right when, you know, she got up to the point that she got sick. But at the end, my mom was actually a member of, like, I know this sounds like people probably are like, who cares? But for my mom, I don't know, if you're a religious person, it'll probably mean more to you. Like, this was very serious to my mom. Like, she was a member of 2 churches, and I remember she really struggled with that at first, because she had been a member of just our church for so many years, but she didn't like to drive long distances. And the church that I grew up in going to, I'm really struggling with this camera today, you guys. And I have tried so hard to find, like, it just will not stop wobbling. And I have tried so hard to try to find the right camera holder. I think, you know, like, if anybody has any suggestions or has seen the right candle holder or camera holder, let me know. I will buy and use anything at this point. I'm just so frustrated with this camera thing. But so she went to the same church the entire time that I was growing up, and she was, like, really dedicated to that church and committed to that church. But she didn't like to drive long distances, and she didn't like to drive, like, she just, like, at night, and if she had stuff to do at church, like, you know, whatever it was, she didn't want to have to do that. And so my mom started going to another Lutheran church that was closer to where she lived. It was actually close to where, like, I grew up, and it was a huge church on the north side of Indianapolis. And so she went back and forth between the 2 churches. Now, it's not like they were competitors. I mean, churches don't compete, right? But, like, they were, like, both have, like, the same bishop or whatever it is, you know, and, you know, like, the pastors were friends and things like that. But I think my mom always struggled, like, with having 2 different churches that she went to. I will tell you what's incredible is when my mom got sick, people from both churches regularly came to visit her and bring blankets and stuff like that. They had, like, these really nice blankets. The one church that she went to, that were, like, they would bring, and they had, like, the names of, like, the churches, like, stitched on there and stuff. My mom loved being involved in her church. It was something that was very important to her, you know? And even though my mom would ask me, like, on a regular basis, she'd be like, I would love for you to go to church with me sometime. And, you know, she just knew it wasn't like I had an opposition to church. It's not like, it's just not where I find my spiritual beliefs. And I went until my parents decided that I could make that decision on my own, you know? And, I don't remember having any negative experiences associated with it. It's just, I never have, I think churches are beautiful. I love hymns. I love gospel music. But, you know, I just have never really personally found what I needed to find in a church. And I'm just really thankful that both of my parents were like, yeah, you know, whatever, as I was growing up. My mom would have liked me to be more involved, I know. And I think for her also, it was like, okay, like, you want to talk about regrets? Like, my mom would say to me, like, on Mother's Day or Easter, like, as I was an adult, she would say, would you please just go to church with me? Like, I don't want to be the only mother that's sitting there alone on Mother's Day. And I would say, well, how does Mother's Day differ from any other Sunday of you going to church alone? And she's like, Peter, it's just like there's so many mothers there alone and whatever. And I felt very convicted about it because it was important to me that I stand behind my spiritual beliefs. And I would say, so you want me to compromise what I believe because you don't want to sit in a church alone on a Sunday? I mean, this was in my 20s. I would say stuff about this, you know. I think you're a fighter in your 20s the way that you're not in your 30s and 40s, maybe, you know. You start to kind of mellow out a little bit. I know I fought some fights in my 20s that just weren't pointless, you know. But so she would say that to me. Because after some point she just stopped asking, you know, after year. And I'd say, so you want me to, you know, like, give up my convictions because you just want me to sit next to you in a church on a Sunday, on Mother's Day? If that's what you want, I'll do it. And she'd say, no. And we would get into an argument about it, you know? And I look back on that and I think how easy it would have been for me just to suit up and go. You know, and like who I am today, if my mother would say to me, like, I would really like you to go to church on Mother's Day, like, no questions asked. I would, like, probably go and buy her, like, a corsage and, you know, schedule reservations. And this is not because she died. This is because this was, like, how the last 5 to 10 years of our life were. Because I really suited up and showed up at the end of my mom's life. Because that's who I've learned to be. And, you know, when people ask me to do things like that today, if a simple act like going to church with them will make them happy, why would I begrudge somebody that? You know, like, that's a pretty simple thing to do to make somebody really happy. So I look back on that and I think that was so, like, stupid that I fought that, you know, that would have made my mom so happy. But, so anyway, when I was younger, we would go to church and then we would go straight from church over to my aunt and uncle's house, which means we would have gotten there at like 11 or something. So we must have had and sat around and, you know, we must have gone right over from, yeah, so I mean, we would have been done with church and then Easter would have started by 12 or 1. Like, that's crazy to me that we would have had Easter that early, but we must have back in the day. I remember my aunt always used to get this cake from Taylor's Bakery, and it was like shaped like a big Easter egg. It was beautifully decorated. Now, people have been telling me there was some kind of drink at Dunkin' Donuts, some kind of Easter drink or something, but I don't know what it is. My mom and my aunt always made such a big deal out of Easter. They loved it so much, you know, and now they're both gone. It's so strange. Caroline's son is graduating. She and I were talking about that the other day. He's graduating this year, which just seems surreal to me. And isn't it weird how time just kind of like flies by, and before you know it, it's like you're in your late 40s and you're like, what happened to my life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did I get here? It's weird. It's not bad necessarily. It's not sad, you know? Like, this whole idea of like aging is so sad or getting older is sad. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the actual act itself, I don't really mind. Like, there's a lot of really great things that come with getting older, you know? Just kind of mellowed out. You don't really care so much about some stuff that you used to care about. You just, like, talking about convictions, you just don't feel as convicted about things as you, with some things, I think, you know, you just don't. And, I think I've learned to, like, relax and enjoy my life more as I've gotten older. But then, you know, you realize that, like, by the time you figure it out, you probably don't have a whole lot of time left here on Earth. You know what I mean? So then it's like I'm in a rush to get all this stuff done that I want to get done. But then you don't want to be rushed because you've learned to not rush. You know what I mean? So it's this crazy dichotomy of this living that goes on in your head. It's, you know. But then I think, you know, my dad's 78. He's perfectly healthy. If I live to be my dad's age, my God, I've got, you know, 30 more years left. with 30 more good years left. Let's hope. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go home and start getting because the sun is like hitting my eyes, and start getting this vlog uploaded, and then go back to sleep for a couple hours more. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday and a great weekend, unless you have other plans. So I hope you're having an amazing day, unless you have other plans. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. Like 2 of you, I said that yesterday, and like only 2 of you like said something about that. So anyway, let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. I love you, and I hope you are having a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. 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 Bye.